Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Baseline. I am your host, Matthew Truitt, and I am here with...
Sachin Vanaraja, and today we will be talking about the pro tennis season.
Yes, today we will be giving you guys our predictions for the top 10 players both on the WTA and ATP tours and who we think will win each slam.
And to start off, we will give you our predictions for who will win our each slams.
Yep.
Matthew, you want to start with the Australian Open?
Yeah,
Okay,
so the Australian Open has finished. We mapped this out. It took us a while to get this episode filmed and stuff like that, but we did predict this before the Australian Open happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did not cheat it. Okay, this is what we thought before.
Yeah.
My women's pick was absolutely terrible. So we'll just...
I mean, we pretty much just went off with what we know. So
yeah. But for my men's, I did predict right. I did pick Alcaraz to get the career slam.
For mine, I chose Sinner.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he
out
lost
in the semis.
Yeah. But it was a good match, though.
Yeah, it was a great match, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I don't think anybody predicted that, really. I mean, everybody's thinking Djokovic, follow time and stuff like that.
I know, right?
He was able to pull it out. So for my women's pick, I picked Coco Gauff.
For mine, I've picked Iga.
I thought Coco, I thought she was gonna figure it out. She did not. Her serve is still really holding her back.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Me, I just went off with on top of my head, so I just went off.
It's also the U.S. bias in me. I wanted Coco to get the Australian, but for the French Open,
I'll start for my French Open. My prediction is Alcaraz once again.
Yeah. I have Sinner. I mean, it's basically, I'll give you guys a little hint. Most of these are Alcaraz and Sinner because they're the best. In fact, I saw this, and this is crazy. Me and you, we have 0 points on the ATP tour, right?
Yeah.
We are closer to number 3 than he is to 2.
No way.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No. We are closer to being world number 3 than world number 3 is to being
That's insane.
world number 2. That's absolutely insane.
That's mind blowing.
That just puts into the fact of like how great Sinner and Alcaraz are.
Those guys are like in a whole new level then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so for me, like I picked Sinner because last year he was coming back from the suspension, so I felt like he wasn't fully there, and he almost won it last year. He should have won it last year.
That's like a tragedy, pretty much.
Like he had 3 match points.
Yeah.
3 of them. And I mean, props to Alcaraz. You can't take anything away from Alcaraz.
I know, right?
He played some amazing tennis to come back from that. But I just think Sinner, he's always, his like mental is just so good. Like I don't think he allows it to happen again. I think he figures it out.
I hope so. I really have hopes on him. But for French Open, like I said, I picked Alcaraz.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, Alcaraz is very, very good on clay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's the reason I picked, what about on the women's side, Matthew?
Women's, I pick Iga.
Okay.
She's great on clay.
All right. I'm picking Sabalenka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was she in? Yeah, she was in the final last year. Coco got her. But Sabalenka is so good. It's absolutely insane.
Moving on, what's your prediction for Wimbledon, Matthew?
Wimbledon, I got Alcaraz. He lost in the final last year to Sinner, and I think he finds a way to come back.
I mean, that's the last year match was like, the win that he has to get. You know what I mean?
I think
after
he needs it back. Yeah.
After French Open, Sinner has to win the Wimbledon, and he did.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt.
Yeah.
It felt like that win it deserved.
Yeah, for
deserved
sure.
to win, so,
for sure.
Yeah, but I went with Sinner for this time. So
yeah, I mean it's literally like we're just going back and forth on who we think's gonna win. It's basically like last year,
Mhm.
Sinner won the Australian, Alcaraz won the French and the U.S., and then Sinner won Wimbledon.
Right.
You know, right now I just have it flipped on like,
Right.
you know, who wins what. But I think they both just go back and forth because they're
Mhm.
miles ahead of everyone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But on the women's side, who do you have?
I have Madison Keys.
I think her run in the Australian last year was so unpredictable, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
She had a great run, and I think she could, you know,
Yeah.
I think she's a
I
dark
like to
horse.
see her win, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I think she's a dark horse, but I definitely
Mhm.
think that she can find a way to go on
Right.
another run.
And who do you have?
I have Amanda Anisimova.
Right.
Sorry.
She was in the finals last year.
She
so,
was,
yeah.
and then got 6-0, 6-0 by Iga.
Mhm.
But I think she also made the final at the U.S. last year.
Mhm.
So I think being in those two big stages,
Right.
I think it's really going to prepare her for, you know, coming back and actually
Yeah.
getting it done this time.
Mm-hmm. And moving on.
Yeah. For the U.S., who do you have men's wise?
Once again, I have Sinner.
Yeah. So here's my bold prediction, and
I don't like this devious laugh of yours. Who do you have?
Here's my. I'm gonna have to explain this one. Okay.
All right.
I have Shelton winning,
Wow. That's
and
okay.
and the reason
All right,
why I have
yeah,
Shelton.
explain.
Okay. So last year,
Mm-hmm.
he started to play his best tennis around the U.S. Open time,
Mm-hmm.
winning Toronto. That was his, you know, biggest tournament win to date. He didn't have to play Shelton or Alcaraz or Sinner. I
Right.
understand that. But I think, and I know he just lost in straight sets to Sinner at the Australian,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's getting a lot better.
Right.
His serve is always dangerous.
For sure, yeah.
If you are not like you have to break at least once, and he's very capable of not letting you break him a single time.
For sure, yeah.
And I think so. What I've seen is he gets better throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the U.S. Open crowd will be behind him.
Right.
I was very high. I thought Shelton could have maybe not won it last year, but I think he could have, you know, maybe squeaked out a win against Alcaraz or Sinner. During the tournament, once I saw the final, I don't think it would have happened because they were playing insane tennis. But
Okay.
you know, he got hurt at last year's U.S. Open. I think that's going to be a big motivating factor for him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think the U.S. crowd is really going to help him
Oh,
out.
yeah.
But that's my
I'm-
bold prediction. I didn't want to just put Sinner and Alcaraz, so
Yeah,
I was like,
that's-
let's throw in Shelton.
Yeah, that's actually a bold
Yeah.
prediction.
If anybody else gets it done, it's either Shelton or Djokovic.
Right.
But I wanted to pick Shelton because USA bias. But
yeah.
on the women's side, who do you got?
I have Amanda.
Yeah, I have Sabalenka. I think
Okay.
Sabalenka
They both
has to
were-
get one.
yeah.
Sabalenka has to get one this year. So
Mhm.
I think that's where she gets it later in the year. But I mean that's
And-
where she got it last year.
Yeah, they both faced each other in US Open last year.
Yeah.
So
I think it could definitely be a rematch.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was also like pretty much a close match.
It
last
was.
year,
Yeah.
So I really like to see Amanda winning one of the slams this
Yeah.
year. So
I hope it gets done. I would love to see one of my predictions be wrong on the women's side and let Coco get one this year, but
Mhm.
we'll see what happens
Oh,
there.
yeah. I'm
Um,
really excited to see Shelton's performance.
I can't like. I think people gotta remember he's only played on tour for 3 years.
Right.
I think like he's still extremely young in this game,
Mm-hmm.
and I think his dad is a great coach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really think he can get it done here
Mhm.
soon. So hoping that it's the U.S. if not sooner.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
Right.
we'll go into talking about this year's AO and
Alright.
kind of what happened.
It was crazy.
It was
Yeah.
some
It was pretty much the high peak level of tennis.
yeah so early in the season
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that's it's so crazy how they can come back
Mhm.
a month off, come
Right.
back and just play insane tennis.
Yeah. That's
Um,
really insane. That's
yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
These guys are not just humans.
No. The biggest standout for me is probably Lerner Tien, making it into the quarterfinals, I
Mhm.
believe. I think he was seated like somewhere around 26. Big standout, big
Right.
performance for him. Excited to see where he goes. He's one of those guys where he doesn't really have necessarily like the power, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He doesn't hit the ball that big.
Mhm.
But his placement, his tactical awareness is so good, and I'm really excited to see what he has
Right.
going on for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to talk about some of the best matches from
Oh, yeah.
this year's AO, and where else to start it but the men's final.
I know, right?
Absolutely insane. I mean,
oh, yeah.
not a lot of people predicted the matchup. First off,
For sure, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people predicted
us.
Alcaraz. Yeah.
Even us.
Even us. We both had Alcaraz in center.
Yeah.
We both had Alcaraz in center. But the fact that Djokovic gets it done,
Oh, yeah.
finds a way to beat Sinner at how the fossil age that he's at, like I absolutely insane.
Did you happen to see the interview that the one of the interview person who interviewed Djokovic before
Yeah,
semis?
in the press conference. Yeah. How does it feel to be chasing?
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, honestly, that's kind of disrespecting.
It is disrespectful. I can see where the reporter's coming from.
Right.
I think it's a little insane to say that Djokovic isn't chasing at this point, just because of how good Alcaraz and Sinner are, and the fact that he's getting older. You know, it's harder on him. But I think he did remind everyone who he is, like who he is, and
I mean, since the beginning, I don't think Djokovic really had the support from the fans. He always has the how can I put this,
the fans
demeaning,
don't like him.
Yeah,
necessarily.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like he's a villain for the most part.
Because when he got it was Roger and Rafa, and fans really liked those that combination, and they were like, we already like those guys. We don't need you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Djokovic beat those guys, and he set the trend, and he was up there for like solid years.
And he's always been the type to take on that villain role and enjoy it. And that's how some people get their motivation. And being the villain, being hated.
Right.
And I think like the reporter, he felt disrespected by that comment by, saying that he's chasing Sinner and Alcaraz now.
Yeah.
And he proved that he's still there. He's still got skin in the game.
Yeah.
But Alcaraz finally gets the career slam.
Yeah.
Happy for him.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I predicted Alcaraz, because I really wanted him to get it. But I mean, Djokovic was going for that 25th.
25th, yeah.
And it was just a great match.
Did you happen to see the whole match?
I did not stay up to watch it.
Me too, but I happened to see the highlights. There was this moment where I felt like, okay, Djokovic, he was gonna lose. Like,
really?
Yeah, there was a time in the match. I don't think it was either like the third set or something. Djokovic hit a backhand like around the net.
Yes,
and Alcaraz
that
got
point was insane.
Yeah, and then Djokovic was just he doesn't know what to do. He was just like giving a frustration laugh.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I think Alcaraz proved some maturity as well. He wasn't trying to out hit Djokovic. He was using his speed, which is he's so fast. I mean, he is so fast.
Dude, he's getting every single ball.
Like who in their right mind gets to that ball around the net? Who in their right mind and then hits it? I mean, to be fair, he had the whole court open to hit it in, but still, the fact that he got there, had enough time to console himself and be able to get that ball back in, absolutely insane.
I know.
Amazing tournament from Alcaraz. I mean, he's insane. The level just continues to get higher and higher.
For sure, yeah. But what do you think about the semifinals match, Sinner versus Djokovic?
We had conditioning that night, and we were talking about it as a team. And I remember going on record and saying that it was not going to happen. That Sinner was going to beat Djokovic.
Yeah.
And I'm coming on here to say that I was wrong. I was wrong.
I stand corrected.
Djokovic got it done.
Yeah.
And I honestly, because I didn't watch the match, did not stay up until 3 a.m. to watch it. I lose enough sleep as it is. So I did not stay up to watch it. I just remember waking up in the morning, getting on Instagram, I believe, seeing it, and I was at a loss for words. I had no idea how it happened.
I was flabbergasted with that. I'm like, okay, Djokovic is on. And then after seeing the score going to 5 sets, it's insane.
I don't know, like, the fact that Djokovic is that old and can go to 5 sets and find a way to win.
Oh yeah.
He's absolutely insane. He's not a regular person at all.
Oh yeah. And most of the matches also like had almost 5 hours pretty much.
Yeah.
Almost 5 hours, a little over 5 hours in Australian. But like Alcaraz versus Zverev.
Yeah. That was I think the longest semifinal match in Australian Open history, I believe. Okay. I could be wrong on that. I think I saw that somewhere. Absolutely. Well, that's the next match that we're going to talk about. But
look at the scores: 6-4 for Alcaraz and 7-5 in the tiebreak for Alcaraz.
Yeah,
and then 7-3 in the tiebreak for the third set for Zverev, and then 7-4 in the fourth set and 7-5. Like, those are just crazy numbers if you like know actual tennis scoring system.
Yeah. And now there was some controversy in that match. Around the third set, Alcaraz was cramping. He says that he didn't know that it was a cramp.
Right.
He thought that he tweaked something. So he calls a medical timeout. Basically everybody knew that it was a cramp. So did Zverev. Zverev was very upset that, because you're not allowed to have a medical timeout for cramps.
Right.
So Zverev was very upset. Still almost won that match. It's again the fact of like Zverev has been so close to winning a major, a Grand Slam so many times. And I hope for him that he eventually gets it done.
Oh yeah.
Like it's been so rough for him.
And to talk about the incident, I feel like if I was Alcaraz and if I felt like I'm cramping or if I felt like there's something I tweaked with, I would call medical.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't blame him for doing what he did. I mean, he did the right thing.
Because both sides have reasons to be. You
upset.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Alcaraz has a reason for calling the medical timeout. Zverev has a reason to be upset with the fact that it was granted. I don't think Alcaraz did it with any ill intent or anything like that. Yeah. Alcaraz is a stand-up guy. Like he's one of the nicest guys on tour. I do believe him when he says, he thought something was wrong.
And also Zverev. If I'm Zverev and if
I'm furious too. Like I don't blame him for being mad.
I'm so close to getting a Grand Slam win. And is this the right time to do something different?
It's like he's cramping.
Yeah.
Good. Like good for me.
Good for me. Yeah.
Like this is my chance to hop back on and, try to ride this match out and get away with a win.
Yeah.
And figure it out in the finals.
For sure. Yeah. But it's just, I feel like if people don't understand both situations, it's gonna be like pretty chaotic incident then. Yeah,
like I think if you just take one side into account, I think that's not enough. Like you got to understand both sides, and I think both of them were equally fair in this situation. I have no problem with Zverev, being very upset with the situation. And I don't have a problem with Alcaraz calling for a medical timeout.
Yeah, and tennis is also one of the sports where you don't get like enough rest.
Yeah, I mean you get.
What was that match like? 5 hours and
5 hours and like 27 minutes. Exactly. I have written down. I could be a little wrong on that, but
I mean,
5 hours. Yeah, like you're playing a match for 5 hours and you get how long in between? Like on changeovers, maybe a minute.
I was gonna say like hardly 2 minutes.
Yeah, so. Like maybe 2 minutes. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and the mental strength that these guys have
Yes.
or should have is insane.
Yes. The fact that you can stay locked in for 5 hours doing the same thing,
Right.
absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you gotta like problem solve by yourself too.
Yeah. Now, it has, gone away with that because coaching is allowed now.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
But at the same time, you are still in the match. You still have to do the things that you still have to do the things that your coach is telling you or that you're figuring out yourself.
right.
So the problem solving, the ability to take in the information and just stay locked in on doing what you need to do, absolutely insane. Great match from both guys. And
and it's definitely a tough loss for Zero.
yeah, I mean, he's been so close and yeah, just rough. Very rough.
Hopefully he'll get one win at least. So
now for the women's final. This was a rematch of the 2023 final.
Right.
It started out the same way. Rybakina won the first set, and then Sabalenka evened it up by winning the second set. But this time, Rybakina is able to, win the third set and gets an Australian Open. And this is Sabalenka's back-to-back years of losing in the Australian Open final.
Right.
It's so hard to predict
Oh yeah, for sure.
women's tennis. I think more than men's. And I think it's because Alcaraz and Sinner are just so absolutely insane. And I think just more people are on an even playing field when it comes to women's. It's insane.
Yeah.
Great match from them.
For sure.
Rybakina finally getting it done.
Yeah. Well, tennis is also like a sport where you can also win even if you're like at the edge of losing.
Yeah.
A great example is last year's French Open from Alcaraz and Sinner.
Yeah. I mean, 3 match points down and able to come back and being down 2-1 on sets too. Like he did have a set, but still he had to then win the 5th set.
It's pretty hard to like predict in tennis.
Yeah, and this one was very close. I believe it was it was 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. I mean, insanely tight match.
Yeah.
And I got to think like because Sabalenka kind of had this problem last year as well. She was in the Australian Open final, doesn't get it done. She was in the French Open final, doesn't get it done. She finally got it done in the US, but like almost just what's the problem in the finals?
Right.
Which sounds crazy to say. She has multiple majors and she's the number 1 player, but it's just, and maybe we're so used to Alcaraz and Sinner winning every little thing that, because we both follow men's tennis more than women's, but it's just the question of, is there something mentally in the finals? Is there something before the finals of just not being prepared, maybe overlooking the opponent, just kind of what that might be?
I mean, if I'm playing, I would definitely feel the pressure.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
In the finals.
Yeah.
Like, I worked my whole life for it pretty much to get here, and then I'm right there. I have to do it, and I feel like that's when my nerves get in.
Yeah, and I mean, you have however many people millions of people watching you.
Yeah.
Thousands at the stadium, millions watching on the TV, stuff like that. I mean, the pressure is there, and we can only imagine how that feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have never been in a situation where we would feel something like that.
And it's kind of funny, like in the finals, the trophies, you see how the winners get like an actual trophy and the runner-up gets like a plate.
Yeah, I think that is pretty weird because it's, I mean, at most tournaments, the runners up get a plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that's just a little strange.
Yeah.
But
those kind of things are the only one that like gives high value. Like you
Yeah.
gotta be the winner to get that.
yeah,
you
I
know?
agree. Yeah. Well, with that being said, great Australian Open.
Oh yeah.
But now I think it's time to talk about our top 10s, our top 10 predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's start with the women. You know, we've been starting with men's.
Yeah.
Let's start with the women for this one. So for me at 10, I have Naomi Osaka, my favorite women's player.
All right. I have the same person.
Naomi Osaka.
Naomi Osaka. Yeah.
I think she's starting to figure it out.
Mhm.
And I think she finally gets it done, gets back into the top 10. So
Mm-hmm.
at number 9, I have Jasmine Paolini.
At number 9, I have Belinda Benches. Or is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Again, with the top 10s, like we're making our best guess. We're not like, journalists who follow
Yeah.
pro tennis like this. We just thought that this would be a fun episode
Mhm.
to talk about, what's happening in pro tennis.
And this is just our own opinion. We are not saying like this is what it should be.
We're not
or
saying
this
that
is not
this is going to
Yeah.
happen or anything like this. It's very hard to predict this type of stuff, especially in tennis.
Mm-hmm.
They play for 11 months.
Yeah.
A lot can happen, injuries, suspensions,
Mhm.
anything like that. So this is our best guess.
Yeah. And for number 8, who do you have, Matthew?
I have Keys. I have Madison Keys.
All right. And I have Andreeva.
Yeah. I have her right at 7. I think Madison, I think she's a very consistent player. I
Mhm.
think you know what you're going to get out of her.
Right.
I just don't think she can get up
Mm-hmm.
very much higher. Not a diss to her, just I think there are a lot of great players here who,
Mm.
do a
I-
little better.
For number 7, I have Madison Keys.
Yeah, I mean, flip-flopped.
Yeah.
They're both very close to each other right now in ranking.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's anybody's game. At 6, I have Rybakina.
Okay. I have Jessica Pegula.
Yeah, Rybakina, might be a little higher now that she's gotten the AO, but
Mhm.
I think she definitely, with the way that she played at the AO, definitely has a way of getting up higher. But
Right.
I mean, like I said, anything can happen.
I know.
At 5, I actually have Pegula.
At 5, I have Rebekina.
Yeah,
It's flip-flopped once again.
yeah. I mean, again, so much can happen.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And I think, sorry, lost my train of thought. So much can happen, and this is just our best guess.
Yeah.
But
At number 4, who do you have?
I have Anisimova.
Okay, I have Coco Gauff.
Yeah, 2 great Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I think Anisimova has so much potential.
Mm-hmm.
She's so young.
Yeah.
And she has so much potential. And I think next year she really gets it done. She had her breakout last year. I
Right.
think this year maybe a little bit of a down year.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what happens. Somebody will have a breakout
Yeah.
year. The next year it's a little bit of a down year.
I agree.
So I think she might have that this year. But definitely, I mean, look out this year, look out next year.
Mm-hmm. At number 3.
Number 3, I have Iga.
All right, I have Anisimova.
Yeah. Iga, I think she's so good. I think she has, it's really just the US bias in me because at number 2, I have Coco Gauff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I can say is that it's the
At-
US bias in me.
At number 2, I have Iga.
Yeah. I mean, again, flip-flopped.
Yeah.
That's how most of our list probably is.
No,
but
right?
I think we can both agree who we have at 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sabalenka at 1. I think she's just a little bit of a level ahead
Mm-hmm.
of everybody else.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love for Coco Gauff to figure
yeah.
out a way to get it to number 1. But Yeah. So now to the men's side. Who do you got at
It's
number 10?
number 10. I have Ruud, Casper Ruud.
I do too. I think
right.
he's been out of the top 10 for a little bit now. And I think he finds a way back in by the end of the season. At number 9, who do you have?
I have Medvedev.
And I have Felix out. Yeah, FAA. Sorry.
Okay.
Medvedev is interesting.
I know.
He had a pretty good AO. But it's just can he stay out of his own way? That's the biggest question.
I feel like it's just mental to him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I think if he can stay out of his own way, I think he has the game to do it. I just think his mental is not always not always the best.
No disrespect to the player, but
no disrespect. Yeah. He's a good guy as well.
Oh yeah.
It's just, I mean, I've experienced this too. When you get on the tennis court and you're not doing what you think you should be doing, it's very frustrating.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who do you got at number 8?
I have Fritz.
Fritz. Okay. I have a Demonor.
Okay.
I think he has a great game. I just think he lacks the weapons to really push him higher, I guess.
At number 7, I have Felix.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
I have Musetti.
Okay.
I know he's at like 5 right now. I just think I don't know. I'm just not the biggest Musetti guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like guys better than him, so I put them higher. But I think he's still a phenomenal player.
For sure, yeah.
Who do you got at number 6?
Demonor.
Demonor. I got Fritz. So that one was switched, but just a little out of order a little bit. I think Fritz hopefully will figure things out. He's struggled a little bit to start the year, but again, USA gotta root for my countrymen.
I mean, like we said, anything can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows? Fritz could. I'm not even gonna say that. Actually, I don't want to wish ill on anybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who do you got at number 5?
I have Shelton.
Okay.
And you?
I have Djokovic.
Okay.
I'm kind of regretting that now because he made it to the final, and who knows what he's going to do for the rest of the year. I just think for him, he plays a limited amount of tournaments, so he has to do well at those tournaments to make up for the points that he's losing by not playing like the 250s and stuff like that. So I think he drops a little bit.
Right. At number 4, I have Zverev.
At number 4, I have Shelton.
Okay.
I have him winning the U.S. I think he has a great year.
Right.
I mean, he's my favorite player that's actually active. Nick Kyrgios, he's kind of active, but I'll forever love Nick Kyrgios. But right now, Shelton's my favorite. So I had to favor him with the ranking.
Okay.
Who do you got at number 3?
I have Djokovic.
That's looking like a great pick right now. Number 3, I have Zverev.
Okay.
He's so consistent.
Yeah.
Again, know what he's gonna. Yeah. He's gonna go deep into tournaments.
He's just 1 or 2 steps behind.
He's just right there. If he can find a way to beat Sinner or Alcaraz, who knows what happens.
Yeah. And obviously, at 1 and 2, we pretty much know.
Yeah, we know who's at 1 and 2, but who do you have at number 2?
I have Alcaraz.
I have Sinner.
All right.
Yeah. And then of course, our ones are just flipped up. Yeah. He has Sinner. I have Alcaraz.
Yeah.
I think, I took away one of Sinner's majors, and gave it to Shelton. And I'm just more of an Alcaraz guy myself. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like I like Alcaraz's game a little bit more. He plays with a little bit more variety, with the drop shot, stuff like that. So I just like his game a little bit more.
That's fair, yeah.
And they're both so good. It's it's a toss up on who's going to finish world number 1 on the year. But I think
that's our top 10.
Yeah, that's our top 10s for both the ATP and the WTA tours, and I think that's the episode.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you guys for listening to a different but very fun episode.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It was fun to, compile our lists and, get our brains moving. But with that being said, we will talk to you guys in the next one. Game, set, match.